The mystery surrounding the abandoned trailer on the outskirts of town had persisted for years. It belonged to a man named Jack who vanished from sight more than 10 years ago. Welcome to USA Stories channel. Do not forget to subscribe and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. Now let's go to the story. Though there were speculations that he had absconded with a substantial amount of money, no one was aware of what had happened to him. The truth was eventually discovered only after his son acquired the land. He learned a startling truth that his father had been keeping for years as he started to tidy the trailer. Adam assessed the condition of the trailer when he stood in front of it. The trailer didn't appear like much, and it was old and damaged. For years, he had wondered why his father had kept this a secret from him, but now he would soon find out. His father's explanation was not too bad. A musty stench filled the room as he entered through the creaking door and was met with mounds of dusty possessions strewn around. In an attempt to get some answers, he began sorting through the mess. Adam discovered something that didn't appear to fit in the trailer as he continued to explore it. Adam kept looking after discovering the first of many clues. He had no idea, though, that his quest for information about his father would just raise more doubts. Why did Jack vanish into thin air? Why had he given Adam the trailer? What might Adam discover within? Adam was astonished to learn that he had inherited anything from his father when he received a letter from the government. He hadn't given his father much attention in a long time because he had vanished from the world while he was still a little lad. However, the mystery remained unsolved. After being missing for nearly 15 years, it seems that his mother had reported his father dead to the authorities in the hopes of inheriting something important from him. Rather, Adam ended up inheriting the one item his father had left, a dilapidated trailer tucked away in a distant wilderness. Adam was more surprised that his father had left him something than that he had been officially proclaimed dead. He couldn't recall ever going to a trailer with his father, and his mother was as shocked when he told her. What then had his father kept secret from them? Adam loaded up his belongings and headed to the trailer as soon as he got the coordinates. More doubts arose because it took 3 hours to get to the forest. Why was it moved so far away? His already hazy recollections of his father seemed to contradict this new revelation. Who was this guy? With the midst of nowhere, a massive hill was covered with trees. It was quite peaceful, an hour's drive to the nearest town. Adam saw how far into the forest the trailer was when he navigated the route on his phone. It seems as though his father genuinely wished for no one to discover it. At last, he caught sight of something far away. Because of its concealment against the hues of the forest, he wasn't quite positive that it was the trailer. But Adam could see that he was moving in the direction of the trailer with each step. He stood before it, taking everything in, and gasped. The paint on the trailer was flaking off, and dirt and dust were all over the windows. The trailer's rear section had collapsed and the door was hanging off its hinges. The trailer was obviously overtaken by Mother Nature, and it appeared as though no one had handled it in a very long time. What was my father doing with this old thing? Adam shook his head, reflecting. He examined every part of the trailer as he strolled around it. He stepped into the trailer after waiting for a few minutes. He felt unhappy about something about it, but after circling the trailer 5 times, he decided he had to get inside. Adam opened the creaky door and entered the trailer, where the stench of mold and disrepair permeated the air. Every surface was coated in dust and cobwebs, and years' worth of detritus was strewn everywhere. Adam got to work, determined to clear this ancient thing and find answers. However, he would soon discover something peculiar. He started outside the trailer, tossing everything. He may strew it around there during the day and look for hints, though he was unsure of exactly what he was searching for. He wanted to discover anything connected to his father. In this manner, he could be certain his father was present. Debris and shattered trailer components littered the ground. Adam might easily cut himself on the rusted metal and broken wood, so he had to wear gloves for protection. To start, he divided the pile into smaller sections. Metal on the right, wood on the left, and furniture and other items in the center. The mess he had made of the trailer didn't bother him. He would never be able to fix the trailer in the long run because it was already in terrible shape. It was a lost effort, serving solely to provide Adam more knowledge on his father's disappearance. At last, with the sun lowering, Adam discovered something. Beneath the debris on the floor was a little rusted key that was hidden. Adam reasoned that there had to be another place because nothing in this trailer was locked. His thoughts were buzzing with theories. Is there a secret safe somewhere? He never imagined that he would discover something worthwhile. He was just anticipating a few pictures, or perhaps a notepad. He never imagined, though, that his father might have left some behind, as the rumor had it that he was about to leave with a lot of money. But suddenly, he started to feel optimistic. Adam took another look around the trailer, searching for any indications of a safe or secret compartment. He tapped and pushed on various parts of the walls, floors, and ceiling, scrutinizing every square inch in an attempt to detect any anomalies. Just as he was ready to lose up, he saw something slippy on the trailer's back end. Taking the key, he forced apart the floorboard and discovered a secret chamber beneath. There was a little notepad inside. With shaking hands, Adam took up the notepad and began leafing through its pages. He was quite aback to discover that it was his father's journal, not just a notepad. The diary appeared to have been well worn and was composed of pricey black leather. The book didn't open. A little knot held the pages together. Something valuable must have been written within by his father. For what other reason would he conceal the book to such tremendous extent? He turned the diary page to the last post right away, and as he read the last few pages, his eyes got bigger. They were addressed directly to him, as though his father anticipated discovering the notebook at some point. The next few lines of his father's weird letter to him were the scariest of all. "If you read this, my son, I'm leaving. I didn't choose to do it, but I was at a loss for what to do. By following these locations, you can locate what is exclusively yours." Adam exhaled. What was the meaning of this? What had his dad become involved in? Not a moment to spare. The final page didn't have his father's handwriting on it like the previous ones had. The final letter of the final lines appeared to be written quickly, as though he was interrupted in the middle of writing. It triggered a litany of questions in Adam's mind. Adam tapped the coordinates into his phone with haste. He was somewhat aback to find that the coordinates took him to a storage facility close to his hometown. He packed up a padlock and secured the trailer, then drove to the storage place, knowing it would be a 2-hour journey back to his house. Adam recognized as soon as he got to the spot that he had driven past this site several times without ever giving it a second consideration. But now, with a sense of urgency and his father's notebook in hand, Adam did not waste any time. He knew the answers to his inquiries had finally arrived. He hoped so, for there was one important item that his father had forgotten to record. Though Adam wasn't aware of it yet, he soon will be. With confidence, he parked his car and made his way to the storage unit facility. But he was lost when he arrived at the long row of red garage doors. Adam went up to the manager and inquired about the apartment that was registered in his father's name, as his father had never written down the unit number. Oddly enough, though, his father's name did not appear on any unit. Adam was perplexed and typed the name many times, but nothing appeared. He started to feel irritated. His only want was clarification, but obtaining them appeared to be more difficult than he had anticipated. Adam was about to give up and head home when he began to lose hope. Never again will I consider this awful day. However, he suddenly recalled something. A note from his father struck him, one he could not quite forget. "You will find what belongs to you and you only." Might the unit instead be registered in his name? Why would his dad do such an action? But after that, something clicked. If his father was truly in danger, he would not use his own name, of course. They received a hit when he asked the manager to check under his own name. Adam's complete name was given under unit number 33. Adam hurried over to the apartment and noted how ancient it appeared right away. The padlock was rust-covered and there were cobwebs all over the place. It was centuries since anyone had visited. The padlock was rusty and difficult to unlock, even though it appeared small enough to accommodate the little key. Adam attempted to turn the key, but it appeared to be stuck. The floor manager, fortunately, had a notion. After giving the padlock a shot of rust-dissolving spray, he waited for a few minutes. People had a tendency to forget about their units more often than you would expect. Thus, the manager had dealt with such situations several times previously. After a few minutes of waiting, the lock was sufficiently lubricated, and Adam was allowed to try again once the manager moved aside. This time, it opened with a boom right away. Adam's heart began to race as the lock fell to the floor. To himself, "Why am I so nervous?" he asked. He requested the manager to stay a little while longer and thanked him for his assistance. For some reason, he didn't want to be alone, but he wasn't sure why. Adam carefully raised the Unit 33 garage door, revealing a tiny, poorly lighted room. His eyes grew wide with astonishment as he entered. Stacks of old, dusty boxes coated with cobwebs filled the flat. It appeared as though their possessions had been hastily hidden and left behind. Their boots left footprints on the thick layer of dust that blanketed the floor as they went. Opening the boxes was the only way to discover what was inside because they were sealed shut and had no writing on them. Adam paused, though. What if all these boxes did was let him down? Adam felt his heart begin to rush. What if his decision to come here was a mistake? Was this truly worth the potential disappointment in place of his happy recollections of his father? Adam was afraid he might learn something about his father that he would have preferred not to know. However, it was now too late to go back. A feeling of nostalgia passed over him as he began to open up a few cartons. He spotted picture albums of him and his father enjoying their regular outings, as well as his favorite toys from his early years. Adam grinned, amazed that his father had preserved all of information for so long. As his anxieties subsided, he began to open an increasing number of boxes. Adam's father's possessions and recollections filled the entire flat. Adam was overcome with a dual sense of joy and sorrow. It didn't seem over yet, even though he wanted to think that this was what his father intended him to know. Adam was looking about when he discovered something in the unit's rear. A doorway opened into a little chamber. The manager was taken aback because typical flats don't come with a second room. Presumably, Adam's father had constructed the door and wall himself, therefore creating a hidden chamber. They approached the wall gently and gave it a thorough examination. Not regular bricks or cement, but a thin carton-like material was used to build the wall. It was obviously an amateurish work. Makeshift space, but for what purpose? Why would his father construct anything of this nature? Adam went to unlock the door, only to discover to his dismay that it was locked once more. Adam found it hard to believe. He would have to pick how many locks before he could discover his father's secrets. Adam was done searching for keys, but he wanted to commend his father for his efforts. He backed up a few steps this time and kicked the door open. With a loud thud, the door tore completely off its hinges and hit the floor. Coughing into their elbows, Adam and the floor manager saw clouds of dust rise from the ground. As they entered the room, they waved the dust aside. Narrowing their eyes to peek inside, Adam discovered bookshelves crammed with antique maps, papers, and maps within the hidden area. There was a big desk and chair, a tiny lamp, and a corkboard full with pictures and notes. Observing what appeared to be a temporary workspace, Adam couldn't help but wonder what his father had been undertaking. As Adam walked inside the room, he heard the floor manager gasp. Adam understood his surprise, as he was certain this was not something he saw often. Adam would never have known about this if he hadn't invited him to remain because it was concealed within one of his flats. Adam began going through the documents and attempting to sort through the disorganized data. A few of the documents contained vintage photos and newspaper articles, while others were written in code. Adam realized his father had to be doing something extremely risky, even if he had no understanding what any of this entailed. He tapped his toe on something and shifted his feet. Adam discovered a secret chest as he checked behind the desk. He thought to himself, "Please don't be locked. Please don't be locked." And he was lucky since the chest gently opened as he pulled the small handle. What may be contained? Adam discovered a fading picture and a stack of paperwork bound together within the chest. He opened the papers and began to go over them very attentively. There was proof of corruption and theft by influential people in the community, including the same officials who had concealed his father's disappearance, which was damning. As Adam became aware of the extent of the evil that had afflicted his village for years, his hands began to shake with rage. When he glanced at the picture, he noticed his father standing among some demonstrators, carrying a sign that said, "Justice for all." All along, his father had been battling against corruption. Adam's thoughts was full with inquiries. Why had his father concealed this proof? What caused him to vanish? How did he end up? This finding, for some reason, offered Adam some optimism. Is his father still living? Adam made the decision to face the only person who may have known about this all along in an attempt to discover the truth. After expressing gratitude to the manager for his assistance, he picked up the evidence box and headed to his mother's house. There was more to this than she knew. Adam reasoned that it would be impossible to be married to someone for so long and not be aware of their activities. When Adam arrived to his mother's house, he was met with conflicting feelings. Jessica, his mother, was taken aback and perplexed to see him. She appeared to be avoiding eye contact and was reluctant to discuss Adam's father. Adam became aware that his mother might know more than she was willing to disclose, and a knot began to grow in his gut. Adam stood at the door asking to be allowed in. His mother had an odd expression on her face that Adam couldn't quite figure out: sadness, perplexity, or embarrassment. His mother sighed heavily and asked him to sit down as he sought answers. His mother came back with a shoebox. "Everything I have left of your father is in this room. Adam, it wasn't only that he lied to you, he also lied to me. He departed from both of us. It's not going to be like that, which is what I had always anticipated would happen, that he would just pop up again." She said, "Your father was a complex man." Adam's father had always claimed to be laid off or to have quit jobs, keeping his employment a secret. When she confronted him, they got into a heated argument, and he ultimately acknowledged that he was engaging with dangerous persons in an effort to keep the family safe. He departed and never came back a few days after the altercation, telling Jessica in a letter that it was for their protection. Jessica, tears running down her cheeks, showed Adam the letter. All these years, I wondered if the corrupt men had gotten to him or not. Adam shared his mother's tears and their sadness. After reading the letter aloud, Jessica had more to say. She sent Adam a recent letter from his father, in which he requested that they record him as dead for mental peace and justified his ongoing absence as essential to his life. A mixture of relief and sadness overcame Adam. Though he was still alive, it seemed unlikely that they would see their father again. Adam put in a lot of work with the media and law enforcement, determined to carry on his father's legacy of fighting corruption, and he eventually succeeded in getting the corrupt authorities jailed. The community rejoiced in the new beginning, and Adam departed with the hope that his father would eventually come home. Please remember to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our videos. If you enjoyed the tale, the next video that plays on your screen will probably move you too.